Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Raw Chat Paranormal. Guys, I'm even saying it wrong. See, I've been on long time. It's been off, so I'm all screwed up. Welcome to the Raw Side, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Let me move this. I didn't move the microphone. I'm a little discombobulated tonight. Goodness gracious. We've got a great special guest this evening. From Nocturnal Frequency Radio, Steve. But before I welcome Steve, I did get a heads up on some sad news. A great supporter of our community, and just a good supporter of us in general, and a great friend, a super lady, Sarah G, has passed away. So if you all could just put it on your channels, put it on your pages, contact your family, send them your prayers and your condolences, and may she rest in peace. What a wonderful woman. And no further ado, guys, let's add Steve to the chat. Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, Laura. How about yourself?
Oh, I am just getting over a terrible head cold. I still have a little bit of laryngitis, so I sound like a frog. Unfortunately, they say it takes like weeks for it to heal. So
I escaped any of that when I went down south. I was thinking I was going to get sick, but I was actually fine. So just exhaustion. So I'm okay.
Oh, that's good because you don't want it. It lasted like 3 weeks.
Oh,
my husband ended up bringing it home, and then it went through the house one by one.
wow.
And it was awful. It was just awful. It was like never ending. And then of course he was happy because I was the only one that got the laryngitis. The man's dream where the wife can't talk.
Yeah.
But then he'd call me when he's on break from work, and I'm like trying to tell him, how can I talk to you? I don't have a voice. He'd be like, I forgot. So actually it cuts out on me every now and then. And I like to sing, and I can't sing because it's just not healed enough to hit any notes. So I don't want to do that. So I got to wait probably another 2 weeks or so before I could even attempt any of that mess. So hello, Horror of Horrors. Welcome. So yeah, that was a big shock to hear about our, I don't know if you ever noticed, maybe Sarah G had ever visited your chat.
Not sure, but condolences, obviously.
Yeah, she was in everybody's chat, so I was just surprised. I think it was Beardo that posted that he found out, and and I was like, oh my goodness. I was wondering where she was because usually she's on all the time, and she was missing for a few days. So unfortunately, she was called home, and so hopefully everybody could send out their condolences. She was a really nice woman.
Too bad to hear. Sorry to hear.
What happened to your show today?
My show.
When I was watching this afternoon, and it just stopped.
It was just a quick stream. I just came on. I wanted to pump this and the show coming up, our scheduled show on Sunday. So I usually don't keep them up there. I usually just do a live short stream and just I usually take it down right after. So
because I was, like I said, I was in the middle of listening to it because I was making dinner, and all of a sudden, then it was quiet, and I'm like, what the heck happened?
Nothing incredibly interesting. Trust me, it was pretty mellow. It was just like I said, I was just just talking about what was coming up, of course, tonight and our scheduled show on Sunday. So nothing really. So you didn't miss much.
Didn't miss. Okay.
You didn't miss
I thought
much.
it was my end because you never know around here. And I'm going through the phone. I'm thinking, wait, it's not there now. Something happened. So I don't know. I'm thinking he didn't say anything bad where they would shut him down. So
No, no,
that's what I was
no.
wondering.
I'd beat them to the punch if I did that. No,
Oh, there you
just,
go. I try to keep it on the down low here so I don't get in trouble. Because there's a lot of things that you're doing, having a guest, or you're doing some kind of a run, a stream, or something. You so want to say certain things,
oh
and I
yeah.
just I keep it quiet, put the filter on.
We've been pretty. I don't know. We've been testing it. I think over the year. Well, we've only been doing the show simulcasting it on our YouTube channel since. I guess it's been a couple years anyway. So because we're live on the radio, it's a little different. We don't have to worry about language and stuff like that on the radio
Right,
network. So, but we tend to forget sometimes that we're also simulcasting on YouTube. And but I mean, for the most part, we haven't had any issues with any strikes or anything. So I
oh,
think
it's good.
we've been okay so far.
Oh, you lucked out, yeah, because I know
Yeah.
there's only like yeah, it's one genre you're allowed to have certain language, the other one you're not, or you could say
Mm.
certain things, and then it's so nitpicky. So you got to choose your words wisely.
Well,
Um,
especially if you're monetized, right? If you're monetized
oh,
on
oh
YouTube,
yeah,
you really have to watch what you're doing. So
right. Well, I don't have to worry about that right at the moment.
so
Someday, if I
that's
live
when you
long,
let it all that's when you let it all loose then.
right? You
You
got to
don't
let
have
it
to worry
loose
about
now before
yeah.
before you hit the big time.
Yeah, before you
Um,
hit the big time and they start yeah.
just let everybody know in the chat. You could ask Steve any question you want, or pop up any kind of comment or question you want, as long as you follow the rules and behave. Um, and pretty much what I'm going to start off is, who is Nocturnal Frequency Radio, and what is the reason behind your channel and your radio program?
Well, Nocturnal Frequency Radio was basically it was born out of my, I've been a paranormal investigator since, oh God, I don't know, 1996 or something like that. And I had been helping and producing some radio shows that were paranormal.
Oop, oop, oop! What'd I do? Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. My goodness.
That's okay.
Let's try that again, guys.
And I was producing a couple of shows, and I said to myself, well, why don't I just host my own show? And I think what was it, back in 2008 we started to
Right.
host. Well, I started to host it with a co-host, and then it from there we just went nuts, and we've been going ever since. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
paranormal
great.
based. I mean, we've ventured into some other areas like music and movies. I've brought on some people that I've worked with in the film industry over the years, and so on and so on. But for the most part, it's primarily about the paranormal.
Right. Yes, because
Hmm.
I noticed that, I watched your programs that you do a little bit of everything. I like to do as well, touch base on certain subjects. Even if like you're doing a certain topic on a show, do you stick to that topic, or do you like to spread out and touch base on other things as well?
Well,
Some people just want to do strictly paranormal and nothing else.
well,
On that one, I think if you open it up,
yeah, I mean, our scheduled shows are basically, yeah, we stick to the topic, to the, concerning the guest, and so on and so on. But I mean, there are shows that we tend to just have everything open, and we sort of go with the flow. What we call dark discussions, and basically we just we let it evolve into some
right?
of our best conversations or discussions have come out of those type of shows. Really thought provoking discussions, and we find those are the best, I think.
You think so too? Yeah, when
Yeah.
you let it just roll off the cuff and let it
Hmm.
go.
Yeah.
and then you find out a
Absolutely.
lot more. And it pretty much, I mean, I think it all goes together because you figure, the paranormal and uh, investigating that, plus, UFO investigations. I mean, it's all pretty much together because you don't know what any of it is as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't know. And it's always a learning experience. So I mean, it's I enjoy hearing different perspectives and absorbing it and learning from it. So yeah.
So it all blends. All right, now I know you said that you've been investigating since the 90s.
Yeah, since around 96, I've been researching and investigating the paranormal. Yeah, roughly
Now,
something
did you
like
have a
that.
specific experience that got into this field?
I mean, I've probably had a few when I was a kid, but I mean, nothing that really stands out. I've just I don't know. I've always had an interest in wanting to know what the great unknown's all about, and trying to I guess learn as much as possible. The fact that and yeah, I may do it with a kind of a skeptical sort of perspective, but I do believe something's going on. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what it is.
Right. Yes, because I didn't notice that you were talking about a little bit about that today on your show. We all have to be skeptical going into this because there's nothing that's been 100% proven. And like you said,
No, no,
like
yeah.
when you see these other things and people are drawn in, and you're right, it's entertainment. But people
Yeah,
take it as
absolutely.
written in stone, and it's like, no, I find myself shouting at the screen when I'm watching programs like that because I'm like, how can you believe that is real?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I've been on both sides of the camera. I mean, I've been on a couple shows and behind a couple shows, and it's you learn. I mean, you learn. I mean, a lot of these shows will tell you they're real, and you can't, like, any reality TV is not real. It's scripted. I mean, there's a lot of script
Right.
work gone into it. And let's face it, I mean, you can't present, like, for instance, you can't present the paranormal for an extended period of time and not, hey, look at, we have to give these guys something, otherwise we're going to lose our viewership
Right.
interest, because I mean, let's face it, many times, 99.9% of the time you go into these investigations and you might have some one little thing happen, you may not have anything happen, but and I mean, how are you supposed to present that on a television show, right? I mean, edited or not,
Right.
you have to sort of bring some, you know that
They have to
little bit
spice
of
it up. Just
spice it up and say, hey, look
yeah.
at, yeah, you got it no matter what. And again, it's for entertainment purposes for the most part. And I mean, people have to realize that, but there's a lot of people out there that don't. And
Well,
I
because they
mean,
really they have
it goes two different ways. So
right. They have no idea what's really entailed in doing this. So they figure, oh, okay, that that's real. But because I've had discussions before with many people saying, well, over 20 years I've been doing this, and I've had actually, luckily, 3 EVPs
mhm.
within the 20-year span.
Okay.
Um, Never caught anything on film because we didn't film it back then. You used Polaroids or
Yeah.
just regular camera. And it never occurred to me to document that at that time.
Yeah.
But now, of course, the advancement and all the stuff that we have now it's
Oh
easier
yeah.
to at least document something.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
people just have no clue, and so that's why I love it when people, like you, and then you get like I don't know if you Kenny Biddle and people like that, and the debunkers, they all just get right in there, and
Mm.
they're pointing these things out so people can have some kind of awareness of what
Well,
the real field is about.
yeah, I mean, I always say, if you don't have a thick skin, you're in the wrong business. I mean, you really do have to have a thick skin when you're doing this, because if you're willing to throw something out there and say, hey, look at, I've got evidence, I've got proof, I've got this, I got that, there's going to be a million people. No, not literally, but you're going to have a lot of people jump all over you and say, look at, no, this is what this is really. It's not proof.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you have to learn to be able to handle the criticism and the scrutiny, because a lot of it comes with
Oh
this.
yeah. That's the debate all the time.
Yeah.
You see where people are, and then because you see a lot of the videos that come out, when people have been criticized or their videos have been picked apart, and they take it totally personal,
Mm-hmm.
and then the backlash is just horrendous. And I mean, come on, I've said it many times. You're on YouTube, you got to put your big boy pants on and expect that part of it to come with it, because people are gonna tear it apart, and that's part of the game.
Yep.
Don't put it out there if you don't think people aren't going to say something about it.
Absolutely.
That's pretty
Absolutely.
much, yeah. Hi, Mark. Is it Mark 1? Yeah, I got to look up so I can see through see through
Hey,
the
Mark.
glasses. Welcome, Mark. But people, I don't think they realize really what goes on. As far as you've done many investigations, do you have a favorite? Or one that you really has like blown you away? And
Yeah, I've done, oh God, so many. But I've done a string of research based that have been going over the several years that I find are the more interesting ones. They're the ones that I've found the most, I guess, the more findings, obviously, and to better understand a location, visiting these locations several times over, you know, you know, weeks, months, years. In this case, in these two locations that I find, it's been years, and one of them, actually, both of them over 10 years now, and trying to piece together exactly what's going on. It's tough because you know, uh, you go into a location and people want to know automatically well, is this place haunted? Um, and a lot of times you go in, you can't tell for certain with that one, that one sort of visit. And telling people that, well, this one visitation, all I've been able to sort of learn is to explain, because I mean that's my methodology. I mean, I like to I don't go in there to look for ghosts, if you will, or spirits or whatever. I go in there to explain away the explainable,
right,
and whatever's left, whatever small percentage that's left, that's what I'm interested in. That's what I would call sort of the paranormal, if you will, until
right.
it's explained. And it's a rarity. But I mean, when you go into several locations, or sorry, when you go into a location several times, in these two particular times, it's really fascinating what you get. And one is an old pioneer cemeteries, and I don't think much about cemeteries when it comes to investigating, but this one I was doing research and documentation for the local historical society on trying to map out the cemetery, because the cemetery is near abandoned. It's the city owns it now, but it took them years to do anything with it, and
Oh,
it laid rotting away until um, a loyalist society came in and fitted the bill to have it resurrected, if you will. Which,
right.
when you go there now, it looks beautiful. It looks like it's brand new, and the repairs and everything. It's just amazing. But the thing is, did that actually drum up some new activity?
Oh,
So
the bee.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, hey, look at it's been beautified, and people, are you thinking whatever's there? Is it sort of acknowledging the fact that, wow, somebody cares about us.
Right. It's very
You
it's
know?
about the end of time. Somebody realized that we were here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a shame when you stumble across cemeteries like that because I do. I like to go and do cemetery runs,
yeah. Hmm.
and because I enjoy the history.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
don't think
love the
people
history.
realize
Yeah,
that they're loaded with history. And I plan on doing actually a cemetery series this year. I'm just waiting for it to dry out here so I can go through. Because we have one big cemetery in our area, and it is loaded with history.
hmm,
And I figured I'd do a segment at a time, and do an investigation and going through, just to see if we come up with anything.
yeah.
Because you never know what might pop up on a recording or on film. Yeah, you find a lot of cemeteries that are just abandoned.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that's I find that's interesting. You said that once that they cleaned it up, then now things are happening. So
Well,
that's
I think things were happening beforehand. Quite a lot of stuff actually, and but since they've renovated it, but restored it, if you will, um, we haven't really had a chance because uh, what this plot of land was also had an original home that was a part and parcel to the land. That the cemetery was initially owned by the family, and it was a family plot. And what happened
oh,
was, unfortunately, the house was sold and it was demolished, which is very sad. And a new house was a mansion really was put up, which is kind of, it sucks really, because I mean here's this, this home with so much history and beautiful home, and they didn't even think about turning it into a heritage home or anything. They just
right.
demoed
Well,
it. And
they just think get rid of it. That's the
yeah,
first thing everybody thinks of.
yeah, it's too bad. Too bad.
Wow. So yeah, because that's part of the history. It would have been
Yeah,
nice if they could have restored it.
exactly.
We have something similar. I don't know. You've seen probably one of my programs where I was talking about we have had a local castle that was in the town of Mohawk.
Mm,
And it was there for years. And that's actually where I had my first paranormal experience as a child.
yeah.
Um, and it went through several hands. And then eventually, some famous conductor bought it. And they were going to live in it until they found out that it had history.
Mm,
And so he ended up building another house on the property, and they just left the castle alone. It eventually fell into ruin. And actually, I think I heard this year that they finally leveled it,
wow.
which is a shame
It
because
is. Yeah.
it had loaded with history. And I actually was planning on going back to investigate as an adult, seeing that was my first experience. And when we did go back there, you couldn't even get, it was so dangerous. You couldn't even get
Yeah.
inside to do anything because you would have fell through into the basement. That was how bad it was.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, so I think that would have been really exciting to at least maybe have the same thing happen as did. Yeah, that was the
Oh, you're breaking up there.
way that is. Here we go. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? All right, thanks for stopping by, Mark. We appreciate it. It's about the internet, guys. It's my so yeah, it's that's what got me into, and that's why I always ask everybody, what made you get into it? Because a lot of people, well, the majority of people have had some kind of experience. Um,
Y- Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had a couple experiences when I was a kid. But I think it wasn't until later on in life, when I think it was after a good friend of mine passed away, and it really made me think. you know I want to explore this a little bit more. I really want to know what's going on. And at the time, I was just finishing up film school, and I said to myself, "Why don't I just kind of, utilize what I've been taught in film school and what I've been doing while working in film, and sort of going out and trying to document?" Because I mean, when I was doing this, there was no TV shows. You had books, and it was, for me, it was, a reading experience more than television. I mean, yeah, sure, you had, In Search of and stuff like that, but and this is, before, the ghost hunters and all that became popular on TV. So
Right.
yeah, so I that really got me going. And like I said, I did the research in the beginning, and then put my I put my foot to the ground and went nuts. I found locations. I went into locations, um, gained access to some really intriguing locations, and yeah, it was incredible in the beginning. It was just so incredible. Just learning and because I mean, when you get into this again, nobody really knows what's going on.
Right.
And what you learn, if anything, is your experience in the field, the time that you spend, and the things that you see, and sort of comparing it to others and what they're sort of experiencing, and going, wow, this makes sense. Something's going on, but what is it? Is it dead loved ones? Is it a dimensional thing? It's so many things run through your mind and continuously run through your mind. For me
Right. So
anyway.
this,
For me anyway.
you'll think the thing would make sense.
Well, yeah, yeah. We just don't know. We just don't know.
So, yeah, so that's because I've spoken about that before with other people. Is it a dimensional thing? Is the one? It could be still our loved ones that have passed out to a different dimension, because we really don't know what happens after we leave the body. I mean,
Hmm.
I believe that we turn into an energy source,
Hmm.
but where does that energy go?
Exactly. I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that. I do believe that we are all energy beings in life and afterlife. That energy doesn't just stop. It doesn't non-exist. Energy is infinite. It transitions. And maybe that's what they mean by the soul. Who knows?
Right.
But I mean, when you look at things from sort of a metaphysical sort of standpoint, life becomes more than just the physical sort of realm. I mean, we're humans. We like to exist within our means, our physical means, our tangibility, our senses, what our senses provide us. But I mean, there's a lot more going on outside those senses that we don't understand, and in some cases, some people kind of understand what's going on, but for the most part, we really don't know what's going on,
Right.
other than that something is going on. And who knows, maybe these these ghosts or beings or whatever else, they're there. We just can't identify them. We can't see them.
Right.
Maybe there's some sort of glitch that's causing these things to happen. Who knows? I mean, nobody knows.
Right. Well, like what you're saying, we can't see them because we're adults. Maybe when you become older, blockage starts developing within the brain.
Mm.
So it prevents you from seeing, because like how many instances of where you see children
Well,
and parents can actually see what we're not seeing.
yeah, children, I believe, because the societal filters have not yet taken hold.
Right.
So children
Right.
are still, they're learning, they're developing, and they still have that open sense. And then,
Yes.
when responsibilities and stuff start to linger in, school and so on and so on, then yeah, maybe we do lose it. Some maybe hold on to it.
Right.
Some maybe might be able to retain it later on in life. Who knows? You know, these are questions that
Right.
we all seek the answers for, and
More questions.
yeah, exactly, more questions.
Yeah. It's always more questions. But that's, yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's when we get older, if you're not open, and I know a lot of us, we all try to be open, especially when you're on an investigation. You're trying to open up and to, to receive what is there. Um, but it doesn't always work out that way. Just like you say,
Hmm.
you could go to any place hundreds of times, and maybe out of that 100 times, you're going to get one or two incidences where you pick up something.
Hmm.
And I think it's the one big thing that the people, outside of our community doesn't realize, because just again, the entertainment thing, where
Yeah.
well they get something every
Hmm.
time. Well, it's just not how that works. And I've been to a place 6, 7 times and still nothing, but there still is word out there's something. It just
Yeah.
hasn't introduced itself to me yet, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's
Exactly.
the thing. Yeah, they, so like you said, you go back 6, 7 times, months, years.
Yeah.
Um, just like when you were saying today on the program, how you're still working on a documentary that you started years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long process. It was like it was a COVID sort of project, and yeah, it's been lingering, but like I said, yeah, I want to make sure it's as good as possible. Some of the footage unfortunately didn't turn out very as well as I liked to it have, but yeah, it's coming along, and hopefully very soon I will be releasing it.
So no, we don't get any sneak peek about date or whatever. So everybody keep a lookout for it.
Yeah,
Um, so it's great. I mean, the time put into this, like, because it is like you said, you have, would you say 4 years
yeah,
stuff that
four,
you've got to go
four,
through.
four,
Oh,
4 or 5
God,
years, yeah,
that's a
and
lot of work.
yeah, going over some of the other older footage is like, oh wow, this is cool. How did I forget about this?
Right, right.
Yeah,
It's years,
yeah,
even.
yeah, exactly.
So you forget that you got it, like, because I'll do that with just pictures. I'm like, oh, when did I take that picture? Or
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so that's part of the problem when you're doing something like you're doing a documentary. I don't think I would ever get that to well, who knows, maybe someday, who knows, maybe a book, who knows, but
Yeah,
as far as right now, it's just the shed in the investigations and see where it leads me. um and the great thing is meet people like you so you can share all of your experiences, and
yeah,
that's the main reason I want to do all this, is to educate everybody, and everybody has their own experiences and information to share. And I think
absolutely.
that's, yeah, I think it's really important that we share what we can, and every experience is a learning experience.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think some of my favorite time in this, I think, is when I go into a school and I do a speaking thing at a school, and just listening to the kids and their questions, and so on and so on. It just reinvigorates everything. It's like, wow, and some of these kids are just so in tuned, a lot more than people realize. And it really makes you feel like, wow, I'm doing something positive. I think and this is great.
Sure. Well, and I think it is great, because I remember years ago you couldn't even talk about this kind of stuff.
No, no, God,
All of
no.
this was so taboo
Yeah.
that, oh, no, don't mention that, or oh, you're a bunch of weirdos, or
Hmm.
So as the years progress, then you realize that how far we've come. Well, you can actually admit, well, gee, what do you do in your spare time, or what do you do for a living? Well, I'm
It's
a
the end.
paranormal investigator.
It's the end thing now. It's
Yeah,
the end thing.
pretty much.
I think the one question I get the most is, I hope you don't think I'm crazy. And it's like, no, 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 no. If
Not yet,
anyone's crazy, it's me for doing this.
right? Yeah. And it's okay. We all got a little crazy in us.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because I did by somebody says, and that's what he said too. Now that I think about it, I think I'm crazy, but I don't know. I've never had any chance to anybody about what's experience I've had. And
Yeah,
he says, be able to tell you what. I said, anytime you want, you just contact me. I'm good. We could discuss it. He
yeah.
hasn't contacted yet. I think because he's still on the fence. He doesn't know what to say. Yeah, that's the first thing. I don't you think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've had so many things happen to me. The people need to go to the party room. So, but like you said, anything now, so it's kind of like safe for us to get it out there.
Yeah, true.
And it's the thing to educate everybody. And look, I love your program. You guys don't know, go check out Steve's channel, Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Subscribe. He has some great people on there and great conversation.
Thank you.
Learn a lot. So yeah,
Yeah,
you really need to subscribe.
it's
Hi,
it's
welcome.
fun.
It's well, you guys just really get into all of it, and then it kills me if Harley's on there, and he just really digs right in,
Yeah.
and then he just
Oh yeah.
all of this information, and you're like, oh, wow, it's like, and there's just been times where I've taken notes
Yeah.
because he comes out with some stuff. I'm thinking, oh wow, you guys were talking about your date, and actually I didn't
Yeah.
have a notepad with me. Something he had
Exactly.
mentioned, and I never heard about it. I go, oh wait a minute, and so I have to rewatch that one because I don't remember what it was, but it was something I never heard of.
Oh,
And but he's wonderful.
yeah, yeah. Jeff's a great guy. He's good. He's filling in for my regular co-host Alex for the time being. So
Okay. Because see, then I didn't have a chance to embarrass him because he would have heard what I said, and then,
uh,
and
he'll be
then we
he'll
could have
be
brought him in.
he'll be back in on this Sunday for the next show. So he'll be back.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
So, okay, so we've done. Let me see what I have notes here that I have written down. Do you have a favorite topic that you like to chat about, or send notes?
Sorry, you broke up a little there. Sorry, I didn't hear the last bit.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. Is there a favorite topic that you like to talk about, or any whatever happens happens?
What, on the show or
Yeah,
just in general?
yeah, on, on the show, or
I
even do you talk
well
about like any of this when you're out in the public, friends
all
and
all the
family,
time,
and
all the time, all the time.
okay,
People are always asking me stuff about it all the time. But me, it's I like to like a lot of the reason why I do this is because I like to find the harder, the lesser known, the rare sort of stories that pop out here and there. I mean, now it's not as much as it used to be, but some of these stories that over the years you're like, wow. Like we had one person approach us about this really strange event that unfolded on his backyard, and his he had just bought a house, and I forget how many acres he had in the back, and he had set up some deer cams in the back. He had a open field and forest in behind, and no fence. And his one camera took in a series of pictures, and the first picture is just like this cool November day, sunny. You see the birds on the ground, and the second picture, there's this strange anomaly, kind of a light anomaly. I don't know what it is, kind of screwing around with the camera. and you still at the same time you still see what's going on the ground. The birds are still there minding their own business, and then all of a sudden
Right.
the third shot, you see what looks like in the distance at the very edge of the backyard, just before the tree line. You see what looks like a guy in a protective bubble hovering above the ground. And
Oh,
when you see this, it's like, wow, that's just what the hell. And
good example.
these photos are like literally in a span, like 4 photos in total, in a span of 4 seconds, right? 4 seconds,
Right.
like, seconds apart from each other. And from this thing to travel from, right by the camera to where it was on the edge of the forest or the yard, and traveling that fast within that second is just incredibly odd. And then the next photo, the last photo, it's gone. Everything's back to normal. It's the weirdest thing.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
That's
weird.
just I love the trail cams. I don't
So
know what you
sorry.
watch. And people have caught some really things on this. I said
Oh
when you
yeah.
people set up trail cam and you just don't know what you're gonna find in the morning, that's pretty cool because you can find some interesting stuff
Oh yeah.
on cams. It's just
The,
so
the
just like I
phone.
said, it used to be how could you fake somebody in a bubble?
Oh, it just
It's a freaky thing.
it's weird. And within seconds, I mean, you literally would have to, the camera would have caught something else if something else was interjecting. This thing was just, yeah, inc-
Right.
incredibly odd. Incredibly odd.
Oh, it is pretty neat.
Hmm.
Um, now that we talk about the trail cams, your personal opinion on using apps or the equipment that is used on investigations. What do you think about all that stuff?
So I didn't get the first part.
Hi,
Sorry.
Sky Talker. Your opinion about using app stuff during investigations?
I think everything. I think we have to use whatever. I mean, again, we don't know what's going on. And I know a lot of the tools that are being used are technically not made for ghost hunting,
Right.
if you will. And I mean, a lot of people really don't know how to use a lot of this equipment properly. um but I again, like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you use certain equipment in the field, and you don't understand what what's happening in terms of, maybe you have something, there's something odd, then share it with somebody who does know, and they might be able to tell you, oh yeah, I've had this happen before. It might be that. If it's not that,
Right.
then maybe you do have something. But yeah, I mean, uh equipment wise, I've used everything pretty much. Everything under the sun. Etch sketches, you name it. I've used everything. I've used all sorts of things to sort of spark some sort of, you know reaction, or whatever. um and yeah, so some like I said, a really good friend of mine, he's a musician, but
Internet's really
his music is inspired by EVPs, and he also uses it.
oh
He also uses it the other way. He uses several tools that he uses making his music in EVP work. And it's just fascinating. Like, he's used turntables. He's used all sorts of things to spark
guy
some sort of,
remedy.
yeah. But Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, I mean, it's great. You're actually the first guy I've ever spoke to, or actually person even, that said use what you can use to find out what you can find out. Because people bash they're not made for what they're being used for. It's find a way to manipulate that machinery
mhm.
to your advantage. I think go for it.
Yeah, I mean that's
I had
not to
like
say that's not to say that I'm not
frequencies and stuff.
yeah. I mean that's not to say I'm not
Sorry, you were talking about skeptic.
skeptical about a lot of the tools. I mean, but that's a different thing. I mean, again, like everything in the paranormal, you have to take a sort of a skeptical approach, and you have to do whatever you can to try to explain what you're finding or what you're dealing with. And a lot of people just don't do that. They just automatically
Right.
assume, right? So I don't know. It's
And well, yeah, like I said, it's all an experiment.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think in order to forward the paranormal fields, you have to experiment. You need to experiment. You need to collect these findings and say, hey, look at and share them and compare them. Because if you don't, we're never going to get any closer to understanding the great unknown, if you will.
Right. Um, yeah, because it's like I said, who knows? There might be that one time where you're going to connect with some, uh,
Yeah.
and it's going to come through. I mean, it all you just don't know. Because I did have an experience with an app one time,
Hmm.
and it's something I didn't expect it to say. It was the first time I ever used it. First time I turned it on, I didn't say anything, and everything else turned off, and I had it setting on the table, and it was game. All right, and then I shut it off. And then when I asked, because it was in a private residence, who it was, and she said it was her, and that I was sitting in his chair. So why would that name come up?
Mm,
Just randomly.
true. Yeah. Yeah,
So
that is weird.
that's where you get okay, maybe work. Let's
I,
go back sometime and try again and see if I get the same result.
I mean, if you encounter something that seems to be intelligent and not residual, and something that seems to be reacting or acting or communicating with you, then obviously it brings things up to a whole new level, right? Obviously, and I've had some audio that even real time audio that I heard with the physical ear that hey, what's going on here? This is crazy,
Right.
you know, and something that sort
So
of
yeah,
lends down to the location, or perhaps a person who lived there, or whatever, a person who's supposedly there, that's been documented. Who knows? I mean, but the thing is, if there's some sort of intelligence that's a part of this, obviously it's a whole new ball game. A whole can of worms are opened up with that.
right.
Mm,
So it's I want to apologize, Steve. We are breaking up. It's just
yeah.
the we had bad weather rolling in, and I'm hoping everything holds out until we're done. Um, but no, I agree with you. I mean, I think that if there is something out there, and if we believe that it's energy, I think it's trying to manipulate whatever we have
Hmm.
to communicate in some way.
Yep.
Because now, also, I mean, because you debunk, of course, as you go along in investigations. Do you think that it's possible that we debunk ourselves out of proof?
Um, I don't necessarily debunk. I mean, I will scrutinize. I will be skeptical, but that doesn't mean I outright say no. I don't believe it. Um, so you know, you have to say to yourself though in the beginning, was it really proof or evidence in the first place? You have to keep that question in your mind, because I mean, when you say proof or evidence of something that is highly unknown and just theorized, I mean, what makes me an expert in saying that? Yeah, that's evidence. When there could be something out there, through science that says, "Oh no, that's this. This is what that is."
Right.
There's a lot of terminology out there that people don't understand, that explains a lot of what's happening in the paranormal now. A lot of anomalies and experiences. There has been, proof, if you will, or evidence, if you will, and explained as to what's happening. But a lot of, like I said, a lot of people just, I think that people, when you're dealing with the paranormal, you really need to educate yourself on a lot of things. Again, if it's a hobby, okay, fine, I get it. But if you seriously want to do this, investigating, I think one thing that helped me is learning how to investigate. Period.
Right.
Know how to investigate, what to look for, and a lot of people just don't know that. I mean, it's amazing what learning, taking a course on investigation methods. It trust me, you'll find the paranormal so much more open and understanding than you did beforehand. Um,
Right.
and being able to say, "Hey, look, I have a," because I have a hard time. I don't use evidence. I don't like using the word evidence. I like saying findings. To me, it's a finding. It's something relatively interesting. It could possibly be something, but it's a finding until I know for certain.
Right.
I'm gonna show other people uh the finding, and you tell me what you think. If I think, if it's audio, I'll take it to an audio engineer, or
So yeah,
you
that's
know
the great. You're sharing that.
yeah, and getting their take on, okay, is there like a phenomenon here that could possibly be creating this? I want to know for certain that if I have some, like, I've played a video clip over and over on our show, of this little girl singing. And it's like it's been driving me nuts. I've had so many different people going over this this video clip, and trying to explain to me what she's singing. It's there, she's singing, you hear her singing, but
Right. Didn't you just play that the other day?
I played it, yeah, last night, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, okay. 'Cause I was say yeah, because I did hear it. It was clear.
Yeah. And I mean, you clearly hear what sounds like a little girl singing, but you can't really fully make out what she's singing.
Right.
You hear the melody, but you can't hear the actual words. I mean, you hear the words,
Oh.
but you can't make, because is it French? It could be French, it could be German. I've had all sorts of people say French, German, they can't figure it out. It's but it's there. It's there, and it's a part of the essence of that location.
Right.
Because I've been in that location several times. It to me, it makes sense that, okay, yeah, it's a part of what's going on in this particular location, right?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I love it when people get a clear EVP. It's amazing. Because then I mean, you can't deny it's actually something that was there.
yeah.
And it's a shame that you can't figure out what the little girl is doing, saying or singing.
Exactly.
Excuse me, but somebody will catch it. Somebody will figure it out. Um, it's just going to take time. Like you said, you're going to have to just
Exactly.
play it over. If even it's 1,000 times,
Hmm.
you're gonna you're gonna catch it and figure what it is. Um,
Exactly.
because none of them are all clear anyway. Like the few that I've had experiences with, was even I've even heard it equipment
Hmm.
in my own home.
Yeah.
Somebody calling my name. And but I only went on the stairs, and there it is, right by my ear, saying it, Laura. And I'm like, okay, you just keep going. Um, uh, now, people are in. I usually don't break the rule, and I haven't. I do know that I have activity in my home. It has been since the day we bought the house. But how do you feel about people investigating in their own homes?
Well, this place here where I'm at has quite a lot of activity over the years, and I've experienced quite a lot. But in terms of investigating your own home, I mean, that's entirely up to you. I don't have a problem with it. But you have to understand it's like anything. If you go into somebody else's home and you ask the question, and it's a question that I ask all the time: are you prepared to be faced with what we may or may not find? Are you
Exactly.
willing to, you know, if we do find something, are you, willing to accept the fact that, hey, we have found this. What it is, we don't know, but we can only theorize. But the fact is, are you willing to, hey, look at, you might have had some weird experiences in that house, but are you willing to accept, outsiders come in and all of a sudden finding all this weird stuff in whatever fashion they find it and presenting it to you? Is that going to freak you out to the point where you want to move? You know, I've had people.
Exactly, because my my husband, he said, yeah, if we find anything, he's leaving. So
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah, I
mean,
don't want up the can of worms. Yeah,
and I mean, people have really exploited that too. I mean, that's another thing that people who go into these houses and they tell the owners that you have like demonic activity in your home. Like, I mean, what are you doing? I mean, these people live there. They live there. You don't live there. You're coming in, one evening, and they've been there for X amount of time, and you want to put the fear of God in them to the point where they're like, oh well, okay,
right.
we're out of here, and essentially, it's probably
Mm.
something very explainable, but they're telling you, well, we need to cleanse your house because you got demonic activity going on. you know, I mean, are you prepared
Oh,
to?
it's
I mean,
always
that's
that. It's always that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
that's
that's what
why
it is. Yeah, are you prepared to open up a can of worms?
well, that's why
So but
we would
I figure
always.
that why disturb something that really isn't bothering me, so I leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean that's why we stopped doing house investigations unless it's really extreme. But in the beginning, when we did house investigations, we would have a pre investigative interview with the family, and there would be papers to sign, really, because we want to make sure you're safe. We want to make sure we're safe, everybody's safe, you
Exactly.
know, because you never know. I mean, somebody could have some sort of strange, medical, or they might be an alcoholic or
Exactly.
a drug user, or
Right.
you never know. I mean, you just don't know. Maybe bipolar. There's all kinds of things, scenarios that that have played out in many investigations that I've been a part of. So yeah,
Yeah, so you could be making it worse
yeah,
just because like you said, maybe they have some mental illness or something, and so
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
a very good idea to actually have some kind of evaluation done, and then of course,
Beforehand, yeah,
yeah, uh,
yeah.
before you
Like,
even step foot in into place.
Because I mean, there's a lot of people that would go, "Oh my God, we've got a house investigation." Good, and that's it. They're just so excited to get in there, but you really have to be responsible. You really do. You have to be,
Yes.
especially, you have to be responsible for the people that you have with you. You have to be responsible for the people who have asked you into their home, and respectful. And I don't think a lot of people take those things into consideration anymore. It's like a lot of things in life that have changed over the years. That just, I don't think that's a part of it anymore, and I think it should be reinstilled. I think it should be something. I don't want to say let's regulate the paranormal, because you know but at the same time, this is a highly unregulated field. It's like the Wild West at times with certain people. And for
Right.
the most part, I like to think that a lot of people are, responsible enough to carry themselves in a professional manner, if they will. And but yeah, there's always those ones that don't.
Right. Well, like you said, so they do the thing where they just go in, do their thing, and get the hell out. And like before and after the fact. And we're still having an issue here, guys.
Yeah.
Fixed. So pay these. I apologize, Steve. We keep freezing up. I'm trying to correct the problem. Let's see. I love his approach on this. Very respectful. Yes. Yeah, you have to be, because I
Mhm.
mean, you're responsible for if anything goes wrong. Because then, like you said, you're going through an investigation. You're getting these ideas or information into these people's heads. So, like you said, when these people go in and say, "Oh, well, you've got a demon or a portal," or you don't do those kinds of things. Uh,
Your work is a
like if you do a
reflection.
residential, do you prefer?
Sorry, you broke up. I didn't get what you said there. Uh,
Well, I was wondering, when you do a residential, do you prefer that the people not there, or do you want them on the scene while you're doing the investigation?
I mean, for the most part, I don't mind if the people are there. I don't mind it because uh, they're there. They live there, and whatever may be there is interacting with those people. And I find that if you take that equation out, that you might be taking out whatever paranormal equation is there as well. So, I mean, in terms of children, though, I maybe we tend to say, okay, look, can you have somebody, especially younger children? Is there somebody you could look after them for maybe a couple hours or for the night or whatever? Um, Unless obviously it is dealing with the children. I mean, I had a case where a single mother was having problems with her son, who was experiencing at night a shadow of a man at the base of his bed every night, and he was so frightened. It got to the point where he couldn't sleep in his own room anymore. The mother took him to every doctor and psychiatrist and everything else, and to figure out what the problem was. And of course, in the medical field, they're automatically saying, "Oh, no, he's seeing things." But and when we went into this location, I mean, automatically, what I did was I went into his bedroom, and I took base readings of everything, EMF, you name it. And the EMF was spiking to the point where it was just off the charts. And again, if anybody knows what an EMF meter is used for, you would understand that it's there to detect somewhat, frequencies that interact with the human energy frequency, right? So there are
Right.
EMF field, the EMF field is a constant, it's a constant presence in wherever you are. Like right now, I am interacting, my body's energy is reacting with this computer's energy, and what's happening is it's giving off EMF. If I was to bring my EMF detector in here, it would be going off the charts because it's on, it's active, and everything else. So anyways, my meter was going off the charts, and there was nothing directly visible that would, seem to be the source or cause of why this was going on. The receptacle, even being plugged in, wasn't causing as much. It just didn't make any sense. So, and it was at the base, like the headboard of the bed. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to go check out the other side of the wall. So I walked around and went into the kitchen, which was on the direct side of the bedroom, and directly, roughly in the same area in the kitchen wall. Again, the meter was spiking like even more, and I'm okay. What's going on? I investigated, and what was happening was the microwave cord had a big slash in it, and being plugged in, it was active. It was very active, and who knows
Right.
how long that had been active. And automatically, I said to myself, "This kid's been being exposed to high EMF frequency for long periods of time, you know, causing him to possibly hallucinate. Because I mean, small doses over a lingering will cause hallucination. Same with high, will make you sick. And
Right.
I was asking the boy. I said, "Do you feel sick?" And he said, "Yeah, I really feel sick, and the only time I don't is when I'm sleeping in my mom's room." And
Hmm.
I started thinking, okay, so what's happening? And I told her flat out. I said, "Your son's being exposed to high amounts of EMF frequency," and of course, she doesn't know what that is. So I explained to her what it was, and I said,
Right.
"This is what you can do, and give this a try." And let me know, give it about 6 to 8 weeks, let me know if this works. So I told her, I said, look, you can either toss that microwave out, get some electrical tape that cord up, and move your son's bed to an area in his room where he's not going to have any activity on the other side, or at least an active receptacle. And she did that. She went out and she bought a new microwave. She moved her son's bed. And you know, I got a call back from her. I think it was like 6.5 weeks, 7 weeks later. She said everything was great. You know, and this is what I mean. It's like people exploit, you know, the paranormal in ways where they don't bother trying to explain a serious event that's has unfolded, and the kid is seriously in need of help. And
Right.
you telling them that, oh, no, you've got demonic activity in your home, or it needs to be cleansed. Seriously, let's be serious about this, and tell the people exactly what's going on. Because if you can explain it, then you need to explain it to the people that are involved, because they are naive. They don't know what's going on. They're asking for your help, right? And
Exactly.
and it's unfortunate that there's not a lot more of that out there. You know, there really needs to be a lot more of that.
No, because like I said, well, it's all for the views or whatever, uh, like I said, well, the popularity is that, well, because I
Mm.
call 2024 the year of the demon,
Mhm.
because that's pretty much everything that goes on is, oh, a demon this or demon that. So it's they're playing it up. So that's like you see it like on YouTube, everything is, oh, I was almost killed by a demon. I mean, you've got some
Yeah.
groups on there, it's like every other day they're being chased down and murdered. So
Yeah.
it's all for the clicks and the likes. And but like Bill was saying, you're very respectful when you go in there in that situation. You do what you're supposed to, and then you find a logical explanation
Well, you have
to
to. I
solve the
mean,
problem.
you have to. I mean, that's what you should be doing. You should be trying to explain. You should be trying to explain the explainable before you even thinking about something being paranormal or highly unknown. And the best way to find that stuff is to explain away the explainable, right?
Right. So, well, yeah, you're doing it the right way.
I like to think so.
It's too bad that not more people. Yeah, it's bad that more people don't do it that way. But I don't know. It's like you said, it's all for image, becoming famous. Like a lot of the ones where you see on TV or YouTube, and you're watching it. People, and when I read the comments, I'm blown away because people give 100% into these channels,
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
then when you and I look at it, and they're like, "Really? Are you really?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, I don't know, but what the ITC people,
Oh, you froze.
um, being apparently it wasn't my night to do this. I can't apologize, guys. Trying to fix what I can. Are we there, Steve? Is Steve
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's stupid. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to do something about this. Drive me nuts. I apologize. Um, like, I have my son working on it, so I'm looking at my phone and talking to you at the same time.
Uh,
Oh, now he's yelling at me. I'm working on it. Um, so, so I've heard rescue. Oh darn. I lost my train of thought of what I was going to ask you about. Oh, darn. What the heck was we were talking about? We were talking about I was talking about the there were the AC people where they supposedly dead through these units, these boxes.
the IT, are you talking about
Um,
ITC?
and I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? I don't know much about that equipment. I don't know how it's supposed to work. How is it connecting with apparently the afterlife through this equipment?
Um, yeah, so the original ITC experiments, from what I understand, they were audio driven, and they were using reel to reel. In the beginning, they were using reel to reel technology, and they were actually running an experiment. I remember reading something and hearing results. They had published results, and I wish I could find them again. I can't find them anywhere. But they were running an experiment with one of the, I guess, one of the scientists or that had been working with them had passed away, and they were trying to make contact with him, purposely trying to make contact with him, and apparently they were very successful, apparently. And what they were saying was that this particular scientist was telling them, from what I remember, was that where he is now, he's in the real life, what he considered calling it the real life, and that we're in a sort of a purgatory state here, in life now as we know it, is not real life. It's actually a purgatory waiting state, if you will, to move on to the real life, as he put it. And I found that really intriguing. But the communication that they, through the questions and almost like real time answers that this particular scientist, supposed scientist, was giving them, from the sort of the afterlife, if you will, or the other real life, as they were putting it, was pretty fascinating. Rather it's true or not, I don't know, but the technology is basically the same now. It's just real time communication, apparent real time communication with the other side, if you will, the afterlife, as they kind of claim it to be.
Right. So pretty much it's like, excuse me, just a giant spirit box. Kind of like the same technology, smaller ones.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's almost like it's like Edison was supposedly working on the telephone to the dead. Rather he was or not is remains to be seen. But there was some
Excuse me.
some scenario out there stating that he was interested in wanting to figure out a way to communicate with the afterlife, with dead loved ones. And he was supposedly working on a device that he was going to be able to do this with, calling it the telephone to the dead, as he put it, or as they put it. So is this kind of a take on that? It probably most likely is, right? I mean, who, if anybody, would know anything about that than Edison back then, right? So,
Right. So yeah, I do remember reading a bit where they said that he was working on that.
yeah,
I tried to do some more research to see actually how far he got.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, it'd be fascinating if he did actually complete a telephone to the dead. But as far as I know, I don't think he ever did.
It's something.
Hmm.
Excuse me, tickle. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just getting that yap going, and we're still trying to fix this stupid glitch going on here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's like I said, I apologize, Steve. It's going to have you on again so we can actually hear everything that you're saying.
Sounds good to me. I'm up for it.
Without, it cutting out every 5 seconds. I don't fix this. Because it's really annoying. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so what am I going to see? Evan, this is a hot mess, the show. I just want to, I've come up with something a little more fun. And yeah, my son's still working on it. I'm sorry, guys. Man, maybe the cold is gone. We'll just I figured try out something a little more fun towards the end of every show and asking just 6 random questions just to get, what kind of answer to get from anybody. And we're going to start off with, the first question is, Steve's favorite swear word.
Whoa.
When I know people are thinking like, "Wow."
I didn't hear a thing. Did you ask the question? Because I didn't hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at question. What is your favorite swear word?
My favorite swear word. I think
Your favorite swear.
my favorite swear word. They used to call me the cursor when I was a kid. No.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Foul mouth. No. I don't know. Favorite swear word. God. I don't know. I don't know. One that I use a lot. Fuck. No. Whoop, sorry.
Well, there you go. There it is. That's funny part. I don't know if I've got a favorite. My husband did wrong. He had a favorite.
I think it depends on the type of situation, right?
Right.
Whatever's fitting, whatever word is fitting for that moment.
For that occasion. There you go. What is your least favorite word or phrase?
Least favorite. You know what drives me nuts, and I'm guilty of this too. When you're watching something, especially on YouTube, a live or a premiere or something, and somebody goes, "Okay, guys," and every second word is "guys." Hey, guys, come over here, guys. It's like, how many times are you going to say "guys"? Enough already. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. Mine is like, dude.
Dude,
hey,
yeah,
dude.
Dude, guys, yeah. All right, we got your
Come
point.
on, dude. I mean,
hey, dude.
Okay, yeah, it's annoying. You hear all these other
expand your
shows,
vocabulary.
Say, hey, dude, oh, dude. So he's like, how many times can I say dude?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you think you'll be in 5 years?
Hopefully alive.
Oh, well, you're not that old.
No. I don't know. I don't know. 5 years. I don't know. I don't want to say in the same sort of scenario, but who knows, right? I don't know. I don't know. 5 years. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's something to think about. You'll be YouTube famous.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Tough one. YouTube famous.
Okay,
yeah.
do you have a favorite sound?
Favorite sound? Something that is mellow and sort of, you know what I like hearing? I think water running or rain at night. Something that is soothing, you know, like something that can help you sort of relax.
Right.
Like that stream, like a stream, running stream.
Yeah,
or
well, yeah, like I said, the water running.
water running and rain, you know, rain on
That's a good one.
during the evening, you know,
Right.
like a storm, you know, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and what sound do you hate?
Do you remember when you were a kid in school and somebody got their fingernails and went shh along the blackboard?
It's squealing.
Yeah. Ugh. Shivers to your bones.
There we go. Yeah, I figured everybody have fun with these. Okay, if there is a heaven, what do you think your first words?
Sorry, I didn't get it. I didn't get the last bit.
I said, if there is a heaven, what do you think your first words would be?
Finally.
I love to get everybody to think. Great, finally.
I don't know. That's tough.
It's fantastic. because what you think about,
Yeah.
that's what made it, kind of fun. It's you're like, wow, I never really thought about it because that's why I played him off on my husband first. And he's like, I
Well,
never really thought about any of that stuff.
exactly. You don't think of that. Exactly. That's yeah, it's thought provoking. You're like, oh, wait a second. What would I say?
Right. So I catch everybody off guard, and I thought it was pretty good. Um, I apologize for the internet issues, guys. Before we do this again, up. I appreciate you coming, Steve. Everybody, please check out Steve's channel, Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Subscribe, check him out. He has a great program, some great people on. Thank you everybody as well. You just got done watching me choke to death, so 100%. The poor Steve had to listen to me choke to death. So we will have you on again, and I really appreciate it. And we'll have you again, and we'll do what we got to do to get this fixed. And I hope you had a great time. I had a good
it was
time
fun.
with you.
It's fun. I enjoy. Like I said, I enjoy your show. I pop in when I can,
thank you,
and
thank you.
it's always
I
nice to see you
try, I
and chat
do.
over. So yeah,
Try to get somewhere with it. I think it's important that we share our information and our education with
absolutely,
everybody. Because
absolutely.
the community that follow us, I think is one of the best. They're
Yep.
all authentic. They're all looking for the truth, whatever the truth may be
Hmm.
in this field.
Absolutely.
And so if we just keep doing what we're doing, they can benefit from whatever we find or whatever we don't find.
Exactly.
So it's
Wholeheartedly. Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is, and hopefully we can all continue because I get a lot of information off of your program, and
Well,
so I really enjoy watching it.
I'm glad to hear that because that's what we try to do. We try to, in many cases, bring several different perspectives and ideas and thoughts and knowledge and um, you know some of it academic, some people in the field, some people, who are experiencers, some people who, from all walks of the paranormal, however it may be. I think it's all important
There you go.
in understanding. So, yeah,
Right. Yeah. I think it is. No matter what we do or where we do it, I think it's important that we share what we can. The education is
absolutely.
the important. Continue to learn. Continue to reach out and be open to all, because one day we might find something that will be the
Absolutely.
big, wow. And I think that's what we're all after is that big wow.
And then we're going to be going,
Everybody,
oh man, it's over. What are we going to do
yeah, that's
now?
it. Shit,
What are we
we're
going to do now?
that's now what?
Yeah, now what? God, no.
There's all kinds of. Then we have to go after Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot. There's another can of worms. Yeah.
That's much. Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Actually, I'd love to do a show on that, get some people on there, and see what the scoop is on there.
oh yeah, that's another
So, all
interesting
right,
realm.
everybody, we'll have to just play around with it and see if we can get some Bigfoot people in. Wouldn't that be something?
It's always interesting. I love
Hey,
Bigfoot.
everybody, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it, even glitchy. I really apologize. Also, everyone, remember to send your condolences to Sarah G's family on her passing. It was a shock to me, and I'm sure to everybody else. I'm sure they'll appreciate all your prayers and your well wishes. And so, guys, please join us again on the Raw side.
See ya.